because we knew we were going to come along today and have the chat with you, there's a couple extra little things that I thought I'd talk about.
You guys into that? Pays to stick around until the end of the panel.
Yo, what's up guys, it's James here, and today we're going to be looking at Treyarch's panel from E3. Jason and his team were up on stage for just over an hour, so I've cut this down to bits that I thought were just interesting, or things that I think that we need to know. So if you haven't got time to watch the entire thing, you can watch this video and still be in the know about everything that you need to know. But just before we jump into that guys, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, it really does mean a lot. And I'll tell you now, at the end of this video, Jason does actually have some really, really interesting information to tell us. So make sure you stick around for the end for that. Let it roll.
Right now, we're going to move on to Call of Duty Black Ops 4. We're going to talk about something that's not at the booth. We're going to talk about zombies. I hope that's okay with you guys. So let's bring out the guys from Treyarch to talk about all things zombies. Come on out.
Hey guys.
Jason! Adam!
Hey guys.
Brian. We've also had some really great celeb cameos over the years. That's one of sort of my favorite moments, or some of the talent that comes in. Again, you know, Black Ops has had some great talent in the main game, but zombies you have as well. Any favorites?
Thank you. My one, I'm going to go with Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, yeah.
Jeff was a force of nature. So normally when you do VO recording, someone kind of goes in the booth, you're sitting out there with your audio director, and they'll read the line, and then they'll do it 3 times, then you say, oh, I'll take the B take, or I'll take the A take. Yeah. Jeff came in, and we just let it run. Because he would, you know, he'd just kind of warm in and he'd be like, yes, well, yes, the shield is quicker than the eye, and just kind of do it like a couple of times, right? And he would just go there, and then he would read the next person's lines as well. Yeah. Well, what has my wife done? You know, just start
That's
going
what needs to be released.
Yeah, and it was so good that we just couldn't call takes.
Yeah.
So he was absolutely amazing.
Now, you know, one thing we haven't talked about, which we absolutely should, is the community that has built around zombies, and you know, the Easter eggs. I mean, there's just. It's fascinating. I remember years ago on YouTube, I'd be watching like Noah J or something. It's like all these people watching his stream months after the game has come out as he's searching for something. And it really, I mean, it's been so much fun. Tell us a bit about the zombies community, many of which are probably here today at E3. They are so passionate about this mode. And tell me sort of about the evolution of that, and I think the fun sort of relationship that Treyarch has with the community.
Yeah, well, I would say that their passion is what inspires us to do the best work of our career.
Absolutely.
It's the fact that they're so into it that drives us. It sounds cliche, but it truly is, because we feel this expectation. When we see that kind of passion, we see that level of engagement. It's like, okay, how do we go further? How do we make them something they're not expecting? And you know, those early days, a lot of those fan theories and a lot of that conversation is what got folded straight back into the storyline, right?
Absolutely. I mean, the very first Easter egg was a hidden song written by Kevin Sherwood, who works for Treyarch, and we hid it in Varuk because we made it, and it was like, oh, this is actually a pretty cool song. What can we use it for? Well, let's just put it as an Easter egg in Varuk and see how long it takes people to find it. And it was like an hour. But that was really inspiring. It's like, oh, people are into that. We should hide more stuff.
We've learned not to say this one will take ages, because every time we say anything like that or indicate that, oh, this is a big one, they've got it in 24 hours.
But I mean, tell me about that. Are there any Easter eggs that have not been found?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Your task is at hand. Can you tell us which game?
No.
Come on.
Well, here's the thing. So there's a whole bunch that haven't been found, and there's a bunch that they haven't got through it yet.
But I'm just curious, like, are there dozens of things out there still? Or, I mean, what's...
On the different ones, there's, you know, as little as kind of like a handful up to a couple of handfuls.
So vague. So a handful. So 5, at
well,
least 5?
I didn't say how amputated the hand was. But it's part of my stick now, is to give nondescript answers to questions.
You also announced you're doing a 4th map classified, right?
Yes.
All right, getting to the questions you guys want to hear. So break it down. What can you tell us?
What can I tell you?
Unclassified
the clues
Coliseum.
The clues in the title. Well, it's going to be based in the Pentagon.
Okay.
And it's
This guy just gave him a shake. Was that what your guess? Okay, there's a bet. What was the bet?
Which crew then?
Ooh.
Which one? Okay, let me tell you this one.
Okay.
So it's the original crew.
Wow.
So it's the Ultimus gang. So Black Ops 4 is going to have our Primus crew in there, and then also our Ultimus crew and our new gang as well.
Wow.
So
all out. All right, Jason.
and that's gonna set up some of the craziness that we saw in 5. Why did that happen? How did they get there? All that kind of good stuff. And it's a wonderful style. We're kind of approaching it in a very unique way artistically.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But it also kind of folds into all those kind of mechanisms that we talked about on the reveal. So the kind of custom mutations and so forth. All that stuff then works as well. So every map that we're doing all works with the challenger system and so forth. So not only is it a kind of brand new take on that part of the storyline, and obviously a joy to go back and update it and modernize it, but it's a new part in the story also.
I mean, it's just it's insane how much stuff has to interconnect and all be sort of planned together. I mean, when and this is being developed alongside the 3 that'll come out at launch? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the whole team is busying away right now. Straight after this, I've got to take these guys home because they've got to go back to work. So,
exactly.
After this project.
Is there anything that you guys have proposed that you're like, no, this is too crazy? Like it just doesn't work?
Nope. It's. I mean, that's what makes it fun, right?
Yeah.
And there's very few times in a person's career where you have that opportunity.
Yeah.
As game professionals, our job is to make the project work and make it to the best of our ability. When you have a project that's so open-ended and supported by the fans so lovingly, it gives us the freedom to be able to try new things, go to new places, and that keeps us alive and fresh with the kind of creativity. And hopefully, they feel that, the community feels it. I've said before, which is hopefully when you're playing zombies, you can feel every discipline's love for the mode itself coming through. I'm a bit hippie in that way. I feel like if people are loving what they're doing, then you feel it on the receiving end. So that's what we endeavor to do on Zombies all the time.
Well, speaking of the community, I know we've got I think we've got a video question from a Facebook fan over at the E3 Hall that wanted to ask you something about that.
So my question is basically, will any of the previous Zombies lore tie in to the new game? Any of the story continuation or even references to the existing lore, since it was such a great story?
A wonderful question. Yes, that'll be tied into Blood of the Dead.
Okay, that's
so
right,
Blood of the Dead carries on that story. That was easy. I got away with that one.
I
thought that was going to be a hard one.
With a whole map of theories, and like asking you to confirm X, Y, and Z on the timeline. Yeah.
Blood is. I won't say anything more on where that fits in, but it's. Yes, it's carrying on that story. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, I think we have another one. Second question.
Hi, I was wondering if you ever see yourself introducing zombies into the Battle Royale mode as something that might distinguish you from other games that are coming out with Battle Royale modes.
All right, get some Blackout scoop. Here we go. Don't tell Vaughn.
I would. I'm going to use my catch-all answer, which is never say never.
Yes. I think when they revealed he was sort of saying pretty much everything in the world of Black Ops somehow will factor into.
Well, yeah,
the
kind of, obviously our characters, and we showed that on our reveal.
Yeah.
Locations may also make an appearance there. So there's already kind of a certain level of it, but who knows how that goes, right?
Are you? How involved are you in sort of? Blackout, obviously you got a lot to do, but that's something that...
We're actually staying focused all on our dedicated zombie side. We have dedicated teams for each one of these things. Yeah. So the maps we're doing for launch, which obviously there's 4 maps there, plus a DLC season coming down the road, we got more than enough to focus on in there.
There's a lot there.
Time. But because we knew we were going to come along today and have the chat with you, there's a couple extra little things that I thought I'd talk about.
You guys into that? Pays to stick around until the end of the panel.
So we talked about maps, and we mentioned that, and obviously introduced a new storyline. And we talked about, I think, custom mutations. We talked about that a little bit. I thought I'd mention a couple of new mechanics or twists on mechanics that the audience might find interesting. So for the first time, we're going to give a choice for your starting weapon. So you get to select your starting weapon before you start the map. You'll also be able to select your own special equipment as well to kind of go into the map before you start.
For everything.
For everything. Wow. And then you'll also be able to select your special weapon, which you'll be able to upgrade and move through as you're kind of playing the game. And then as a final point,
yes,
you'll also be able to choose your what we're calling perk vapors, of which there'll be over 10 different kind of perk vapors, and you'll be able to assign them into the world. So rather than having your kind of perk machine that's just kind of static and staying there, now players will be able to kind of choose what combination of things and how to set it up into the map to change the way the map is played and what abilities and skills they can then have.
Wow.
So there's a couple of mechanics there.
I was going to say, so this is definitely...
That's an exclusive for you there.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. You know, I like those. That's amazing. I mean, it feels like that's going to obviously, allow so much more customization. I mean, your loadout effectively when you're kind of...
And that's the kind of thing which is, when we're talking about, the most deepest customizable game we've created, that's part of it, right? Taking all the things which are kind of static or predictable and then giving the players the choice. So not only the choice for me as an individual, but if we're playing together, what's the combination of things that we're taking? And that's part of the strategy you're taking to defeat a map or get an advantage on a map as well.
Wow. All right, you guys into that? Yeah. All right. So it's amazing to see what you guys are putting together, and we can't wait to see more and play it this October. Give it up to the guys from Treyarch.
Thank you.
Black Ops 4. Awesome. Thanks, guys. We'll be right back.